Good afternoon. I welcome you all to this ongoing webinars on Python learning. So this session, we are going to learn about the control structures or the control statements in Python. So let me start. Okay. So up to last session, we have seen all the basics about Python, the different data structures we have seen in the last session and the previous session, the operators, variables, how to declare them, what are the data types, all that we have seen. So in continuation to that, the next part is this, conditional structures. See, all programming languages have this conditional structures. What way this is different, little different or more different in Python, we are going to see in this session. So this is going to be the outline. I am going to show you the different forms of the if statements in Python. Then we are going to see some examples for that. And along with that, we are going to see something relating to the loop structures in Python. Like we have while loop, we have for loop, then nested loops, inside a loop called nested loop. And finally, we have something called as match case statement. So all these things is what is the agenda for today's webinar session. Okay, let's get started. Now, Python conditions are conditional statements. For this, the base is again from mathematics. See, I have some conditions. I want to find out whether my data satisfies that conditions. My data value satisfies that conditions. For that, I use all this. So when I say conditions, it's going to be logical conditions. So when it is usual logic conditions, this is what is the base we have to think about. For example, any condition, logical condition, if I want to compare two values, if I just want to find out this is equal to this, 5 is equal to 5, 5 is equal to 10, something like that, then I go with the double equal to. Okay, so if it is not equal to, then that operator, what I use, you can see here, exclamatory mark and equal to. Less than, greater than, Same way, less than or equal to, it is denoted like this. Greater than or equal to is denoted like this. So this is how, you create the logical conditions. Now, when I say logical conditions, most commonly what we use is if statements and sometimes loops we use. Okay, right. So if statement. Now, how do I write the if statement? If you ask me, using the keyword if. In general English, I put it like this. The syntax is if what is the condition, then what has to be done. See, other programming languages and Python, there is a small difference. You will come to know when I go to the next slide. Okay, so as of now, just take the syntax like this. If condition, then what has to be executed for the condition. So for this, a very simple example I am going to show you. And since all these are going to be hands-on, let me open the Jupyter notebook also, so that it is easy for us. So I just open a new notebook. So the basic idea, say this, A is equal to 10. Okay. A basic if condition I am going to type here. If A is greater than 10, This is the expression. This is the condition. If this condition is satisfied, then what I need to do? Okay. So always this indentation symbol you have to add after the condition. Okay, so this is the difference actually. See, like a C++ or Java, what do we do is when we have conditions like this, when we use conditional statements or looping, we put it in curling braces. We put that block in a curling braces. In Python, we use indentation. See this, what happens when I press this, I get it like this. So I just print, or I'll print if A is greater than 10. Okay, I print that the value is more than 10, something like this. Very simple. Okay. So here only the true part of the condition, means the condition, if it is satisfied, then what it has to return. Okay. So if A is greater than 10, what it has to do. So I'm just printing it. See this, I run this. Okay. So you can see that the value is more than 10. 1 minute, maybe I will close this and open it again. Okay. Let me open the Jupyter notebook. Maybe because it was kept open for a long time, it is behaving like that. Don't worry. I have a complete thing already created also. I can explain you from that also. So this is the first example. You can see that A equal to 10. Now suppose if A is equal to 10, okay, so equals, you can see that here I have already explained you. When one variable value is equal to the variable value of other. Okay, so the same way here, if A is equal to 10, I am just printing A is 10, A value is 10. Okay, so I just run this, you can see that A value is 10. Now let me just change here. Okay, so I have used another relational operator greater than. So A value is more than 10. Now let me execute this. See this. It is now showing out of if block, means the condition is not satisfied. This is where we go to the next level of if statement. For you to understand, if condition colon, when you press enter, the indentation happens. So indentation is what is the difference with Python and other programming languages. Java, C++, as I told you, we use curling braces to differentiate that block for the conditional statement. Here, we use the colon, that is the indent. So when you add the colon and press enter, it actually indents. It gives spaces to that extent where you can start typing the next line. Okay. Now, if condition is satisfied, what is to be, the output? If the condition is not satisfied, then there are two options. I can use a simple keyword called as else. Means the condition is not satisfied. This is the result. If I have many such conditions, then I can even go with elif. In other languages, we call it as else if. Okay, else if is for the next condition. Here in Python, I can use elif. Okay, now I will go with another example for that, for the indentation. See this. I am using else here. See this, if A is 5, means if the value is true, I am going to print A value is 10. Okay. Now, if A value is not 5, I am going to tell that no, A value is not 5. So to explain this example I have added for you, you can see this. So true condition has failed. Okay. So if statement fails. So else statement is what has got executed. So this is for your understanding. Okay. So else has got executed. Right. So one more example. I am going to find out whether a number is positive or not, to check if a number is positive or not. Okay. So see this. I just have a number. If the number is greater than or equal to 0, I print it as positive. This is if the condition is satisfied. If the condition is not satisfied, it will come down to the else part of the if block. So it will say that no, it's negative. Okay. So I can show you the result here. See this. It says A is positive because I have given greater than or equal to 0. Now let me change this as 7 and then execute it. See this, then again it says it is positive. Now let me change this and execute this. You can see that it is negative. Okay, here what you have to understand is one true value and one false value is there. So if the condition is satisfied, it has to carry out the if block part. If the condition is not satisfied, whatever is there in the else block part, it is going to execute. Okay, right, fine. So that is what we have seen here in this example. Now there is one more method. There is one more method using which in a single line, I can give the true value of the, if the condition satisfies, okay, the true value, the true part, in a single line itself. That also is possible. Okay. So that is what is called as, that technique is called as ternary operators or conditional expressions. You can see an example here. See this. If A is greater than B, colon, print A is greater than B. Okay. This is a normal one-line statement. How I have changed it, you can see. See, A value is 2, B value is 330. Now print A space, if A is greater than B, else print. So what is the syntax here says is, what is the true value that has to be returned? Now, what is the false value that has to be returned? Okay. So this is how in a single line, I can do this. Now, similarly, this if condition, normally we can combine two conditions using the logical operators. Maybe this condition and this condition or this condition. Okay. So I use the logical operators A and D and O R R, right? So both I can use and I can just find out, combining two conditions. So that is also possible here. All this, what we are seeing in this session, 90% the syntax and all that matches with other programming languages, because this is how Python can differentiate for people who are already having experience or programming knowledge using other programming languages and packages. It's going to be very easy for them because all simple English keywords is what we use here. So and is going to be A and D, R is going to be O R, Okay, so some programming languages, we use the ampersand, ampersand, all that. So here, no such confusions at all. So to understand this, we can try this example. Okay, so let me just go with one simple example. I have some values here, A equal to 2, B equal to 3, and C equal to 5. Okay. Now, these three values, I want to compare. I want to find out the largest of these three values, largest of three numbers. What is the logic behind this? There are many logic behind this. One simple logic is, I can take the first number, compare it with the second number and the third number. And then if it is largest, I will print that one as the largest. Then I take the second value, compare it with the third value and first value. And then I will print that B is the largest number. If these two conditions are not satisfied, then I will go with the else part. Okay. So before this, you can just have an idea of the L if also, then we will come back here to use this. Okay, see this. I am getting a input, okay, external keyboard input I am going to get. And I want to check whether the number I have input is positive or negative or greater than 2, something like that. Okay, so it's greater than 2. Or if it is not matching all these three conditions, then I will go with saying that it is 0. So first condition goes like this. Before that, this is the input part. You can see that A is the variable which is holding the value with through the input function. Okay, so this is a syntax for getting an input of enter the number. So what I am doing is I am actually converting the input into float. So that's why it's mentioned here as float of input of this. Okay, so after I get the input, I give the conditions. So first condition, what is the first condition is if the input A is more than 2, I just print that yes, it is greater than 2. Now, second condition is if it is less than 0. For this, I am going to introduce elif, E-L-I-F. So else if is what is, shrink to, condensed to elif. So elif, second condition. Again, indentation. Again, another elif. Again, another condition. So one condition is greater than 2, that comes in the if block. The next condition is using elif block. It is less than 0, that is the condition. And then the third one is greater than 0, that is another elif condition. Okay, now if block, elif block 1, elif block 2. If all these are not satisfied, then I come with the else part. Okay, so that is what I have done here. I am just going to run this. See this, it is asking me the input. Now I am going to give the input as 7 and press enter. It says that A is greater than 2. Now, again, I am rerunning this. I am giving -6. See this, A is negative. So block by block, I am showing you how it works. First condition, I gave a positive number. It said A is greater than 2. Second condition, I have given a negative number. It is shown that. Okay, so anything more than 0, it is going to always show positive. Now, again, let me run this. If suppose I'm typing 0, see this, A is 0. So this block has got executed, step by step. without any trouble. So that is the reason many people in their projects, they depend upon this if block for conditional checking of a data value. Okay, right. Now let me come back to this. Now you have understood what is that if block. Let us try it here. So what is the logic here? If A is greater than B space and A is greater than C. Okay, so I'm giving here two conditions. I'm comparing A with B and A with C. So indentation, enter, print. What I need to print? I'll print that A is the largest of three numbers, right? Okay, now press enter. Now this is the first condition using the if block. Now else, instead of else, I will go with elif. Why I'll go with elif? Because I have two more conditions. I have two more conditions to be checked. Now, first one, I have taken A and compared it with B and C. Now, this time, I am going to pick B and compare it with C and A. Okay, so elif, okay, B is greater than C and okay, B is greater than A. Okay, so what it has to print? B is the largest of three numbers. Okay, now second condition also it is going to check. Now, if both these conditions are not satisfied, means A and B are not big, means very simple, I go with the else condition. Else, I will just print. I'll print C is the largest of three numbers. Okay, so one small mistake, what I have done, you can see there. Okay, the indentation. Okay, so see this also, some programmers, they like it very much because indentation is very simple. Some who have been working with other programming languages, they are comfortable with the curling braces and all that. See manually how far you can do that. So this is going to be the easiest way, right? You can clearly see that for each condition, what is the output or what is the calculation, all that it is away without any disturbing the condition part, if block, elif block, else block, all that. Now you can see that it says C is the largest of three numbers. Now again I am changing this as 9, A as 9, and I am trying to run this. You can see that A is the largest of three numbers. Now let me change this B value as 10 and then rerun this. You can see that now it shows B is the largest of three numbers. So this is how I can use this, for conditional checking of values of my data. One more example I would like to show here. Already I have created it. You can see here. I am getting an input of any character. I am moving it to the variable called ch. Here I have this program is about, check the input character is vowel or consonant. This is the program. See this if block. I start with the if block. If the variable is equal to A, I print this is vowel. The same way I just go with L if second condition, third condition, fourth condition, fifth condition. So 5 vowels are there, 5 conditions are there. Now, if all these conditions fails, then it will get or it will execute the else block. So this is consonant. So let me try this for you. It is asking me to enter a character. So I am just typing Y. You can see that this is a consonant Y. Again, I run this. Now this time I type I. It says this is vowel I. You can see this because of the indentation. There is no flaw in the flow of the logical checking of the conditions. Okay, it is going to clearly execute based on the input, or you have already predefined the values. Whatever conditions you are going to check, it is going to do that. Okay, right. Let me come back here. So we have understood how it is, and we have also seen the elif, multiple elif. Now, if you have a if statement inside another if statement, then we call it as nested if. This nested if concept is there for nearly 30 years. People have been using this nested if concept in Microsoft Excel, then in other programming languages. So in Python also, we have the same concept. Just understand this. I have the same code in the notebook also, Jupyter notebook also. So I am just giving the first if block. If x is greater than 10, print above 10. You can see the indentation. After that, again, immediately I start another if block. But you can see that as per indentation, I have added this. So second block, in that I have if as well as else. Okay, so this is how I can execute if inside a if. But if I have, more number of variables, more number of values for which I need to, test for conditions, then I will go for the normal if elif when I have more number of conditions. Okay, right. Now the next one is pass statement. What is this pass statement? Sometimes I want to give a condition, but I do not want to reveal something like using a print or something like that. Then in that case, I can just use the keyword called pass. See this example, A equal to 33, B equal to 200. If B is greater than A, what I need to do is actually I need to put print B is greater, something like that. Instead, I do not want to say anything. I just want to make it empty. Okay, it cannot be empty. So to make it empty or to avoid getting an error, if I do not do there, it will ask for the statement, right? If what is the condition, then for that condition expression, you need to give a statement. So instead of that, I will use the pass statement. So this is not going to have any impact. Right. So this we have tested. Okay, now that was about if, elif, and if else, and if pass, all that. Right. Now the next part is all about the loops. Basically, we have two types of loops. This also, when comparing other programming languages, it is going to be very easy. If you understand the syntax here, it's going to be very simple. The most sought after loop is called while loop. Okay, so what is the syntax for this is while is the keyword, while condition, what has to be executed. Okay, so what has to be executed can be a block of code also, or it can be a single, line of code also. So now for this, to understand this, I have a simple example here. I am initializing the value of I, variable I, as 1. While condition, what has to be executed. while condition. What is the condition here is, I just want to print 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, up to 6 I want to print. So I am using a print statement, print function, print I. It is going to print. So till this, when you execute it, it is going to print only 1. Now, what if I want to increment it? Then I have the increment here. Traditionally, we use I equal to I plus 1, I plus 5, something like that. In Python, we use I plus is equal to what is the increment. Okay, so I'll take you there. So this is the while loop. This is what we were talking about. We were learning about. You can see this. I just run that. You can see that it has executed that. So when I say 6, up to 6, less than 6, while I is less than 6, if I say while I is less than 10, means it is going to print up to 9. You can see that. So this is how the while loop functions. Okay. Now, after that, I have something called as break statement. See, now in this itself, I would like to break the condition, when a certain condition is met, a certain value is met. I would like to break that. How do I break? Very simple. I have break statement. So the same program, while I is less than 6, I am printing it. After that, I am just giving a if condition. What is that if condition? If I value is equals to 3, break that. Okay, so you can see that here. The same code, I have it here. So instead of typing it, I have just added it so that it's easy for us. We can save a lot of time in this, right? So I initial value, it is 0, because you know that it always starts from 0, right? So I less than 6, I is incremented by 1. Now I am giving a break here. If I is equal to 3, break. Okay, then I run that. You can see that it is exiting the loop. It is coming out of the loop when I value is 3. When I value is 3, it is exiting the loop. This is the purpose of the break statement. We can stop the loop, okay, when the while condition is true, even if the while condition is true. The next part of this break statement is the continue statement. We can stop the current iteration and continue with the next. Okay, so for that also I have an example here. You can see that. Okay, the same example. I am incrementing the I value here. Then if I is equal to 3, I give a statement called continue. So after that, what it is going to print, I want to know. So that is the reason this print I has come after all these things. So you can see that 3 alone, it has skipped. Okay, see this. 3 alone, it has skipped. 1, 2, it has printed, because the condition is satisfied there. If I is equal to 3, it has stopped there, and then I have given continue. So it is going to print the next values after the condition is met with. So this is how the continue statement can be used to stop the current iteration and then continue with the next value or the next results. Okay, so break, while, break, continue. Okay, now you can use else statement also to conclude that the condition is no longer true. Okay, means it has printed out all that. it has given the output, all that, nothing else is remaining. The condition is satisfied. According to the true value of the condition, it has executed it. Okay, so that example you can see here. The same code, the same, while I is less than 6, print I plus equal to 1, I'm incrementing that. Okay, once that is completed, it is coming out to the else block. So how you used the else block if there is no more conditions available in an if statement, the same way in while also you can use this. Okay, so let me go there and show you that. So this is the else statement. See this? I am just trying to run this. It has run from 1 to 6. The condition is satisfied. After that, it has come down to the else block and it says that I is no longer less than 6. Okay. So this is how you use the else statement in if condition. The same way you can make use of it in the while statement also, while conditional statement also. Okay, so that is all about that while. Now the next part, this is the last part also, we call it as for loops. Okay, so for loops for a very long time we have been using for some purposes, like, I want to repeat a sequence, or I want to repeat a particular action for a number of times. I want to pick the elements of something like a list or a dictionary, all that, or a string, all that. So these cases, I need to iterate over a sequence. So that is what is the purpose of for loop. Okay, so this is something different in Python comparing other programming languages. See, for example, in C++ or other programming languages, the for loop syntax goes like this. For what is the condition, what is the initial value, what is the final value, all that you have to specify in the syntax, right? That is the syntax actually. So here it is not like that. Very simple. See this, I can execute a set of statements. Okay, whether I am executing it from one single end value or from a list of elements, a tuple, set, anything. Okay, so whatever data types are there. See this one wonderful example to make you understand easily how this works. I have a list here. The list elements are these: apple, banana, cherry. So 3 list elements you can see here. Now I am going to print it one by one in a sequence. Okay, it is going to execute that elements. So how it is happening, you can see here, right? For X in fruits. Okay, so this variable is going to pick one by one, and in is a keyword. So that's the reason for and in are in other colors. I am just going to print it. See, there is nothing big, something called a syntax or something like that. It's very easy to understand. See this. Okay, so we are in the for loops of Python. So this is the purpose. Now I have the list here: apple, banana, cherry. So I am giving a for loop condition here for X in fruits. So when I run that, you can see that it is executing one after the other in a sequence. The elements of the list are executed. Okay, so this is a simple example to understand the power of for loop. Okay, now sometimes we combine all that also. We can combine even the if function. We can combine the else part. All that also is possible in Python. So how do you loop through a string? For that very simple example, see, I just have a string. Okay, I just have a string. I just want to print it in a sequence. See this for the same thing, X in what is the string? The string is banana. So like how we indent, in if function, the same way here also indentation is required. So I am just printing that. You can see that it has printed the string one after the other, picking the characters one after the other. Okay, so it has actually looped through the letters in the word banana. Okay, right. In this, there are some other operations also that are available. For example, I can use the same break, continue, and all that here also. Okay, so break statement, we can stop the loop before it has looped through all items. So I have some 5-6 items. From this 5-6 items, I want to just loop till the third item, till the fourth item, something like that. So once that particular condition is met, then I can break that and come out of that loop. I can exit that loop. So that is the idea here. So here also the same break statement is what is used. So for condition, this is the for condition for X in fruits indentation. I'm printing that. After that, I am giving a condition. If this X is equal to banana, okay, this is a condition. Then what I do, I just break it. So we'll try it here. Okay, so this is the same example. This copy is there in that slide also. Now, let me add one more list here. Okay, so I have 4 items here, 4 elements for 4 items for the list called as fruits. So I am just replacing this with guava. Okay, if X is equal to guava, you break the loop. I'm running this. You can see that 4 elements are there, 4 items are there in the list. Since I have given guava as the condition, it has come out of that loop. It has come out of that loop. You can see that, right? So up to guava, it has. Let me add one more. Okay, now let me run this. Okay, now you can see that 4 list elements are printed here: apple, banana, pineapple, and guava. So till whatever condition I have given, it has executed that. Okay, now the same thing, let me just copy it here and let me paste it here. Okay. Okay, now up to one certain sequence or looping, I have come out of that. I want to come out of that if the condition is satisfied. So I have given the break. Now, what if I want to continue after that? Then I have a continue statement. Okay, so you can stop the current iteration of the loop and continue with the next item. Okay, so for this, again, I have the example here. You can see that. Okay, same example for X in fruits. This is a list. If X is equal to, let me change this. Okay, let me change this. Okay, so this is what is the example we have seen, right? So it is working fine, no problem. Now in the continue also, I am going to just include that. I am just going to include that. This time it is not going to be banana. It is going to be pineapple. Okay. See this, if X equal to pineapple. So 1, 2, 3, third item, continue. Okay. Means you don't print this pineapple. Okay. So you do not print this pineapple. This is what is the idea. Say this, it has just skipped that and it has continued with that next loop item. So for condition is for the entire list items. First, I am giving a condition. What is that condition is? If the fruit name is pineapple, okay, continue. So what it is going to do, it is going to print from the first element. It is going to keep looping with the list elements. And once it reaches this particular condition, if I say break, it is going to break till that. If I say continue, it is going to skip that and it is going to continue with the next items. Okay, so this is how it is going to work. The continue statement, the break and continue in a for loop. Okay, next very important function, what we use in the for loops is called as range function. See, some programming languages, some applications, this is called as sequence function. I just want to have a series of values. Maybe, I just want to add a serial number for a particular column of data, like 1 to 10, 1 to 20, something like that. Or I want to, tell what is the starting value of the series and where it has to end. Start value, end value, the second option. The third option is I can specify the start value, I can specify the end value, as well as I can specify the increment value, the step value or the increment value. This is what is the syntax. For this, you can use the range function. Just like that, you can see this example. Just like that, I want to, print 1 to 5 means I will just use the function called range and I will put it as 6. So it is going to print 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 5. Okay. Now here I want to start with 2 and then till 6. So 2, 3, 4, 5, it's going to print. Now see the third example, I want it as start value as 2, end value as 30, and the step value as 3, or the increment value as 3. So 2 plus 3, 5, 5 plus 3, 8, 8 plus 3, 11, 11 plus 3, 14, like that it is going to print. So this is one very easy way. Using the range function, it is made possible, made easy. Okay, right. So the same function is available in other programming languages also. Even in applications like Microsoft Excel, the latest versions, you can make use of these. And you have another function there called as sequence. But the syntax remains the same in all these languages and packages. Either you specify what is the range of values it has to print, or start value, end value, or start value, end value, then increment value. Okay, so I have tried to show it here as example. See this, I am just going to change this as range of 10. So what it is going to print here, you can see that it starts from 0 by default and it has printed up to 9. So the next example, I am going to give the start value and end value. So instead of 6, let me change it as 10. Start value is 2, end value is 10. So it is going to be 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Right? Okay. The third option, I told you that I need to give the start value, I need to give the end value, then I need to give the increment value. So now what I'm going to do is I am going to give the increment value as 2. Start value is 2. Then end value is, let me put it as 20. And increment value is 2. So this is how it is. You can see that. So in increments of 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, it has printed out the values. This is the purpose of the range function in a for loop. Okay, so else, can we use else in for loop? Yes, else can be used in a for loop also. Okay, so I told you in the beginning itself that what is the purpose of else? Whether it is if else or for else or while if else, all this else means no other conditions are there. Okay, so all that is executed. So simple example I have mentioned here, you can see that. Okay, so the same example, if this is printed, it is going to print what? 1, 2, 3, 4 up to 5, it is going to print. Okay, so after that it is going to say else means it will come down to the else block. After completing this, it will come down to the else block and it will print this also. So this is how the else block is going to be used here. So the same thing you can see here, the same example. To understand it easily, I have made it. See this? So first the for loop is executed. The for loop is completely executed here. And then it has come out of the for loop. So what is left out is the else block. So the else block, it is executing. Okay, so this is the purpose. Now, the last one is, we call it as nested loop. What is this nested loop? Is a loop inside a loop. Loop inside a loop. So here, the logic is the inner loop. You have an outer loop, you have an inner loop. The inner loop will be executed one time for each time of the outer loop. One wonderful example I have got for you here. See this. I have 3 colors, red, big, tasty, in a list called edge. And I have one more list called as fruits. The first outer loop you can see here for X in this edge, and the inner loop for Y in fruits. I want to print it. Okay, I want to print X comma Y. So what is going to happen? Let me show you that. Okay, the same example. To list, outer loop, inner loop, then see this, it has combined it now. You can see that. Red apple, red banana, red cherry. After that, it is picking the next item. So that's what I said. You can see this. Inner loop will be executed one time for each iteration of the outer loop. Okay. So red apple, red banana, red cherry. Okay. See this, the results. Okay. Big apple, big banana, big cherry. Tasty apple, tasty banana, and tasty cherry. So each element, it has iterated. So the inner loop executed for each iteration of the outer loop. So that is the idea of a nested loop. Okay, the final one, we have something called as match case statement. The only saddest part of this match case statement is this will work only in the latest versions of Python. See, as a beginner, many people work with the 3.7 version. And, if you're doing a data science course or something like that, we use the Anaconda, and we use the 3.9.1 version of Python. So up to that version, this is not supported. This is supported only from 3.10 or 3.10 version, 3.11, 3.11 version of this. But anyway, you can just have an idea if you have installed 3.10 or 3.11 versions, this you can execute and see. I'm just giving you an idea because we must not miss all the conditional statements. What is the last one which is available? So in that case, match case statement. So here, this match case is also similar to other programming languages and packages. If you ask me, you have a select case, something like that, C, C++, Java, all that also, we have the same concept. Okay, so means I have one value, and that value I am able to check for multiple conditions. Okay, see, for example, I have done it with if elif. If a is greater than 0, I say it is positive. If a is less than 0, I say that it is negative. Something like that can be done in this without any confusions. And where I will use this is when I have a number of conditions for one single value, one single input. For that, I have number of conditions. The vowel consonant, that also can be done using this, because the value input is 1. Okay, so here this is the syntax. So complicated pattern matching, you can go for this match case statement. So this is the variable. You can see here com is a variable and it is having hello world. Now match space the variable. For each condition, I will start with the keyword called case. Case space value colon means indentation, what it has to do. Okay. Now, even if you find this as difficult, you just take the same vowels consonant example. Okay. I take it as in is equal to a. Okay. So match in is input, match in, case a, print vowel, case e, print vowel, case I, print vowel, case O, print vowel. Okay, if all these are not matching, okay, so then I go for no match or no consonant. In that case, it is a consonant. Okay, so this is how for one single value, when I want to match with multiple values and find out, then I can go for using the match case statement. One more example I have got here. Okay, so I am getting an input for the CPU model. Okay, see this match CPU model case. Celeron means I print this. I3 means I print this. I5 means I print this. I7 means I print this. I9 means I print this. If nothing is there, I give some message. Okay, so this is how it goes with. So that is all I have for you all in this webinar on the conditional statements, or we call it as conditional structures. If you have any questions, you can share the questions. So I am just checking any questions are there. Okay. Okay. I can see a question there. What is the question? How to break out of multiple loops in Python? Okay. See, the first thing is the question. When I say multiple loops, I have to understand what is that criteria, what is the condition I am giving, and when it will break out, when it will come out. Okay. See, the same example you can take for this, the vowels. Okay, I am just checking whether vowels are there or not in my input. Okay, so in such a case, uh, there are 5 conditions. Okay, first one is the if block, and then I have the L if block. I have L if block like that. Okay, so if all of this is not satisfied, then I can, break that. Normally in programming, what we do is we will define a function and, we will place the loops within that function. And using a return statement, we can directly come out of the function. Thus, you can break all out of all the loops. This is one easy method. Maybe the next session, when we next part of the webinar, the next session and the series of webinars, I'll be teaching you the functions. So that time, maybe I can show you this also. So that is one easy way. Okay, so I either create a function in that what are the conditions that are there, I'll put it. So when I return it, if the conditions are not satisfied, it is going to break that. Okay, so this is this kind of questions I have been receiving in the live sessions also many times, right? So the easy answer is this. Any other questions? Okay, I can see one more question. Does range, what is that? Okay, range function. Okay, okay. Does range return a list? Okay. Right. See, range is a function, which is a predefined function, which has got its own syntax. What is the syntax is, I have to give the initial value, I have to give the end value, and I have to give the increment value. Okay, so I don't think that using a range function, it is possible, right? Okay. Another question is there on the screen. Difference between continue and pass statement in Python. Very simple. Continue is going to continue the elements which is left out during the iteration, and pass statement is not going to return anything. Yeah, I do not want to say anything. I just have done the checking of the condition. Then I go with the pass statement. That is the difference between continue and pass statement in Python. Okay, one more super question has come. Do I need to learn Python or R? I think the similar question I received in the first part, first session of the webinar series of Python learning. Okay, I can give you a very good example for this. See, R came first, then Python started gaining popularity. All that is a known fact. But which one is English-like language? Which one has got more English-like keywords is Python, comparing R. So I can use it in different ways, whether it is object-oriented or, database management or a scientific application, all that it is very easy with the exhaustive libraries in Python. So depending upon my requirement, if my requirement is only scientific application or, some calculations or computations relating to one particular process, then I may go for R. But Python is many times better comparing R. What you can do in R, you can do in Python. What you can do, everything in Python cannot be done in R. So I think I'm clear with the answer for this. And also Python is what people are behind now, just because it is easy to learn, it is easy to use, it is easy to code. Comparing other programming languages, anybody from different fields, they are switching to Python programming because of this simple reason only, right? Okay, thank you all very much, and hope to see you all in the next session of the series of webinars on Python learning. Thank you.